Alright, so welcome back to another lecture on supply and demand and how supply and demand are used to analyze markets. So in this particular video, we're going to analyze the market for education. So like any other supply and demand curve, it's important to identify what you're measuring. On the vertical axis, remember, we're measuring price. P stands for price, and Q stands for quantity on the horizontal axis. So up top, we're going to write down education. So this is, let's write college education. This is the market for college education. Alright, so we're going to draw our typical downward sloping demand curve and label that D. And our upward sloping supply curve and label that S. Alright, and where they come together, we're going to put a point, and that is equilibrium, so that'll be E1. So we have a particular price and quantity, so let's draw those into our axis. So right now, there's the quantity of education and the price of education, so we'll label those Q1 and P1. P1, Q1. So what happens in the market for education, college education, if the federal government cuts subsidies to colleges? All right, so let's write that down as what happens. So on the right-hand side, we're going to write this down. Government cuts subsidies. All right, so what are subsidies? Well, that's a non-price determinant of supply, right? That's a non-price determinant of supply. So when you government cut subsidies, we're going to write an arrow down, and we're going to write the word supply. So that means this will be a decrease in supply. All right, and just to make this point clear, we're going to draw this with a different color. We're going to take the red pen, and we're going to draw a leftward shift of the supply curve, because remember, any decrease of the curve will be a leftward shift. And we'll label that S1. So there's our new supply curve. So what happened in the market? The government cuts subsidies, right? So that's a non-price determinant of supply. That causes the supply to decrease and shift to the left. So now we have a new equilibrium. We're going to label this creatively E2. And so what's the new price-quantity relationship at E2? Right? So here's Q2, here's P2. So let's label those. Now, decrease in supply, we're going to write the word results. What's the results in the market? In other words, what happened to the price quantity? Because remember, that's why we use supply and demand as economic tools. We use supply and demand as economic tools to analyze markets and figure out what happened to the prices and quantities at the new equilibrium. So because of the decrease in supply, we write down price, and then we draw an arrow up because prices went up. And what happened to quantity? The quantity of education consumed went down. Went quantity down. And that's it. So we've analyzed the market based on what happened because of a cut in government subsidies.